In essence, as I think the way we designed that name with a capital A in the middle, you've probably seen that on some of the publicity, it's really looking at focusing on the ability, the potential of people to have a job, employability.
EmployAbility is an employment service for people with learning disabilities predominantly. Now that could also be people with maybe mild learning difficulties or autistic spectrum. It's really for somebody who wouldn't be able to get a job in a normal way, so they're going to need additional support.
We look very carefully at job matches, so we with every individual build up what we call a vocational profile, which is really a picture of them as it relates to work, their kind of career, their work journey, if you like. So we're trying to get to grips with, what are they good at, what are they interested in doing, what do they aspire to, what core skills have they got, but also what support do they need. So we're trying to build up quite a whole picture of each individual.
Well, one of the things that we say at EmployAbility is that when somebody comes to us, we don't expect them to be ready for work. We find them a job and train them on the job. So, because a lot of the clients that we work with may learn certain skills at school or college, but find it difficult to transfer those skills into a real life situation. So although they might have the knowledge of it, they can't put it into a different environment. So we don't expect them to have work-ready skills. We'll go in with them to a specific job and train them on the job and learn the job while they're doing it.
Well, recently I've been working mainly with adults with Asperger's syndrome, which is a form of autism. 2 years ago started a scheme called Autism Champions, which is set up as a scheme in Surrey to get people trained up with more knowledge of working with Asperger's so that services can support them better. And that was the aim, so I've been focusing on that a bit more recently. I think it's much more difficult for them because they don't look like they've got a disability. So people assume that they're going to be able to do things, but they present themselves as much more able, I suppose. So employers will make assumptions that they can perform and they don't need the support, so they sometimes struggle a lot more because they wouldn't necessarily think to ask for help due to the Asperger's as well.
But at the same time, we're realistic and we acknowledge that employers need a job to be done. Employers need people to be, functioning in a productive way in their workplace. And so we recognise there are some people who maybe at the moment with limitations of technology and resources we can't get jobs for. We know that's the case, even if we might aspire, to have a kind of zero reject philosophy.
Where would you be if you weren't here today?
At home.
Watching the telly.
Which is the best, being at home or being at Sainsbury's?
Being here.
He left college last June, so he sort of had a period of unemployment between sort of June and September, October time. He did have a part-time temporary position at another supermarket, but unfortunately that didn't lead on to a full-time position, and that was just on a Saturday. So he's been unemployed since then, but say at college right up until the June of last year.
Matthew now, rather than sort of hiding away in his bedroom on PlayStation and effectively being a hermit, he is now much more part of the family. He is much more contributing towards family life. So yeah, it's been very positive.
My first one was that, to be quite honest, that he wouldn't be able to do the job. It's as simple as that, because you're up in the dressing rooms, you've got to think for yourself, you're on your own, and it was one of those things, well, could he manage to do it? But as he's proved us wrong, he's doing okay. When you're used to giving people a job to do, you'd say do this, do that and the other, but we learnt with Liam that you said to us that you've got to specifically say what he's got to do and not so many jobs. So you'd say maybe 2 jobs or something, not like go and do that, go and do that, go and do that. But you've got to realise that you tell him quite specifically what he needs to do, and he does it, and he gets on with it.
I think that the reservations are most probably unfounded, but what they've got to do is to actually look and make sure that the person they employ can actually carry out the role, and that they are physically capable, mentally capable to actually do the role, and to ensure that they understand the disability that they're taking on, so that they bear that in mind. I would really encourage it, because I think it. I know from Liam that I think he values being here. We like having Liam here, and it works both ways. It gives him a sense of purpose.
I suppose the only concerns that I had initially was the time factor. So somebody with learning difficulties, will take that a little bit longer to learn a particular process or procedure, or to understand. That was the case, but you get as much as time you invested to them as what you get out the other end, which is what I feel we've achieved here.
It's been really well, because we've had people like you and Caroline who's been there to talk to if we had any problems with Mandy, which at the beginning we did, because we didn't have a lot of support from the house. We had problems getting her picked up and other things like that, but EmployAbility have been there to support and help through everything. It's been really good. They've really helped her, and everything's fine now. She's doing a job, she's being picked up when she's working, and we couldn't ask for anything else. It's all going well, yeah.
Absolutely. So again, I've been only here a few months, and Jack's carer has been a lovely lady. She's, if any problems Jack has, picks up the phone, again, communicates both ways. I'm up to date with how he's feeling, anything serious has happened. So it's good. The communication's there. It's very important that that's there, because on our part we can get frustrated. People don't turn up for work, or something's happened, we're worried, which is great. So Jack's care is fantastic, and also the communication, as I said before, and that's what's key, I think.
Yes, she came in and introduced us to Dougie before he started, just to see that he would be okay working here, and she pops in whenever Dougie needs us to pop in, really, or if I've got anything to ask her. So, and it's helpful having her there in case Dougie's got any worries.
And it helped me to do my job, and he helped me to do the kind of overseas. Oh, no, right, she's very helpful, she's very good worker.
EmployAbility have been absolutely wonderful. First of all, EmployAbility have worked with Matt to identify what he wanted from a job, and Matt had some very firm ideas about that. He loves cars and really wanted to be able to work with cars. So that was the first, most important criteria. There were others, and EmployAbility got all of those together, and then went out with Matthew, starting to look for potential positions. and even went round to all sorts of different garages, cold calling, to see if they had any jobs that Matthew would be suitable for. And having finally found him a position in a garage, so he was absolutely over the moon. Then EmployAbility have worked with Matthew to help him learn the job and then slowly withdraw so that Matthew does more and more on his own until we're at a point now where I think he's pretty capable of doing the job himself.
I think it's because it helps the company to show that Tesco's is an equal opportunity company. It's a caring and sharing company as well. It not only helps for the company, but it helps the customers as well, for them to understand that, you know, we take it all walks of life, regardless of disability, colour or creed.
So do you think this sends out a positive message then to your customers?
Oh, most definitely, definitely. We have a lot of customers that come into our store now who specifically want to see those two ladies, or in Susie's case, she actually works on a till now. She started employment with us as a bag packer, and we started right at the very bottom of the scale as regards ability, and over the last 2 years, she's actually built right up to a cashier level now. And it's amazing how many customers come in who specifically ask for Susie and want to be served by her, purely because, you know, she's got a bit of a learning disability. However, that doesn't stop her doing her job.
I just think it gives us, for a customer to see that we've got a very diverse working staff, it just gives a very good impression.
Yes, it's actually been quite positive actually. One of our customers actually came in and was quite curious what was going on with Matt. We explained that obviously Matt had learning difficulties and all that, and that he was just doing little odd jobs for us around the dealership and all that, and she thought it was absolutely fantastic. At the end of the day, she mentioned that she had a child with learning difficulties, and that she belonged to a group, and that she was going to go back and sort of explain what we were doing, and it was a positive feedback. And at the end of the day, it's all good PR.
I believe the staff morale has actually got higher, so actually staff are pleased that we've actually employed people of different disabilities. As we know, disability is on an increase, and I think about 1 in 5 of us are classed as disabled, so actually they think it's a reflection of the local area as well.
It's fantastic for the colleagues that come and work for us. It's great, personally speaking, as an employer, because I can see in Stephen's case just how happy it makes him to be here, to have a job, and it's just fantastic.
When Dominic first started here, which would be about 10 years coming up, he was very shy. He didn't really obviously know what he was doing, and I spent quite a bit of time with Dominic. And during obviously the duration of the length of time Dominic's been here, he will now come in, he'll get his own cloths, he'll get his own cleaning equipment. If he sees anything that does need doing, rather than us come and keep prompting him all the time, he will actually take it on his own back to achieve sort of cleaning in the dining area and the front of the restaurant without us approaching him. He will, do it on his own.
Oh, it's changed so much. I mean, I'm doing something all day. I've got to pay my own money. Like my mum and dad have stopped giving me money because I get my own now. Just changed because I feel more independent.
Certainly, this is, getting full-time employment has been, an absolutely fantastic boost for him.
I'd say go for it.
I think to approach it with an open mind and a positive attitude.
I would say that go ahead and do it, because certainly I've found when I've gone to pick Matthew up from work that he is incredibly conscientious. He will be there, he won't finish at his prescribed time. He will keep going for another half hour or whatever until he's actually finished all of his jobs. So, the employers are actually getting a good deal.
So go for it. It might be only little jobs that you need doing and all that, but and it's a slow process to start with, with Matt, but he's got there. He's absolutely superb. I'll go for it.
Oh, Dad,
tell them it make them think to stand on their own 2 feet, help their mum and dad, give them some money to let them stay at home, and it will keep them out of mischief.
I'd say give it a go. I know you initially think it's not a good idea, however we've never regretted anyone we've taken on with abilities. Actually, it's probably delivered what we need for the customers and for our staff and customers.
And I say, yes, let's give everybody, no matter what their disability is, give them a chance, give them a break.
Yeah, we found out about Liam going to the Olympics through a newspaper article. He hadn't actually told us, and he'd been with us a short while. And I said to him, "You're off to the Olympics?" He told me he was. I then took that to the committee of this club, and they agreed that we could sponsor Liam, and we gave Liam some sponsorship money towards his flights, so it enabled him to go.
They helped me get to China for the Special Olympics.
And when did you go to the Special Olympics?
Last year in October.
And was it good?
Yeah.
Come back with anything?
Yes, I came back with a bronze medal.
I like the fact I get paid, so I can buy DVDs, videos, and I do really like the job.